Hello and welcome to the second part. So in this part, or in the previous part, I should say, we created data.json file. Now, before moving into the app part of it, I actually want to grab a little more information because so far I just have a word and translations. I really like to have some examples as well. And examples was not a part of the payload, so but we did have a dictionary link here, so some links to some different dictionaries. And the first dictionary here is called Yodao, and is a great dictionary, in fact, one that does have some examples. So if we somehow could visit that page and grab the examples and put it in our payload, that would just be awesome, right? So that's what we're going to do in this video. And to do that, we're going to do a little bit of web scraping because we need to access that website to get the examples. And I initially tried with Puppeteer for Deno, but that didn't really, or Deno, but that didn't really work out too great. So I decided on a different library and one that I actually ended up liking. Uh, since we're not visiting a website that uses JavaScript, so it's way easier just to use a smaller module. But anyway, this module is called DOM parser, and it's from this URL here. So yeah, great URL. Now with this DOM parser, we can actually turn the whole DOM into a JSON or a JavaScript object, and we can try to pull out the stuff we're interested in. Okay, so in here in this for loop where we're grabbing each word, we would actually like to visit this Yodao link and then grab those examples. So maybe I can give an example how this Yodao link looks. So if we go to our great Postman here, we can grab one of these links just to see how it looks. Um, right, so open a new tab here and then see. All right, the site looks like this. Okay, down here we have some examples where this word is being used. And this is basically the part we're interested in. Okay, so this is how the web page looks. That's cool. Now let's jump back here. So let's get that link first. So Yodao link. How can we get that one? Well, as you saw previously, we can go into dictionary links and then access Yodao. It should get us the link. And now, well, we can do another fetch because we want to grab the HTML, right? So in here, we can pass in our Yodao link, and then we can do await on our HTML response. And instead of JSON, we just want the text, right? Now, in order to turn the HTML string into a passable DOM or JavaScript object, we need to call our new library here that we pulled in. So this DOM parser up here. And here we're just going to do new DOM parser, and then we're going to call this function called pass from string. Here we can pass in our HTML, and then we can pass in a format or a meme type. And for me, it's just going to be HTML. That's what I'm interested in. So now this doc is an object where we can call different things. Okay, so if we actually get something from this doc, we can do something like let's just call this variable exp. So on doc we can call the query select all, And here I can actually, as if I was in the DOM here, trying to make a selection, like document, query selector, right? This is equal. And what I'm looking for is these examples. So to get those examples, I actually need to target a div that has this bilingual ID and then a UL and all the LIs under that. Just to confirm that this is working, we can type in our selector here and see which LIs it's targeting here. Okay, so we get this one, this one, this one. That looks good. Now, what we can do is, since we're going to get a node list back, we can transform it into an array. And after doing that, after getting this array, I can start doing a little bit of mapping here. Okay. So I'm just going to find this variable called examples. And it's going to be the LIs mapped over. And for each LI, we'll get an LI. And here is where you need to do some manual stuff to figure out how to grab this part and how to grab this part. I've already done that work, so I'm just going to show you how that looks. So the word is going to be child nodes, and this is going to be a node list item. And for that, I need to use item to get a specific one. And the specific one I want is going to be the first one. So remember we started 0, but so this is actually the second one. And I'm just going to call it text content in this one because I just want the text in the end. And the translation text can be found at li child nodes item 3. Okay. Now, if we actually perhaps try to log this so we can see if we're doing great, right? So let's just remove this write statement down here and let's try to run the code. Okay, yeah, we're getting something. We're getting something here. There's definitely a lot of white space here that we need to get rid of, but we're getting some words and we're getting some translation as well. So happy days, happy days. So let's get rid of this white space, shall we? And in order to do that, I can do return here. So I'm just going to return first. And I want to turn a word. That's going to be a word text. And on this white text, I'm going to call it trim to try to get rid of all that white space. And the translation, I'm going to pass in translation text. And on this one, I'm also going to call trim. Okay, good stuff. Let's try to log out this whole examples array to see how it looks. You may notice it's a little slower now because I'm doing 2 fetch requests. Okay, looks like this. Looks pretty good. There's a little bit of white space here, but no biggie. I can live with that. Okay, cool. That was the examples. Pretty awesome. So now we need to make sure we attach those examples to our final item here. And to make that clean, I'm going to remove this part. And then instead of pushing that object directly, I'm going to create a something up here called a mapped item. And that's basically going to be these three properties. But we're also going to have the examples here. So if we find something here, we can call mapped item, and then we can say mapped item examples equals examples. Now here it's going to complain because we didn't define a type here yet. So let's go on and do that. So outside here, next to our word entry. Oh, sorry, let me see. Word entry. So yeah, this is actually the type that we want, right? So here we need to do examples as an optional entry. And what is an example? Well, an example is a word string and a translation, which is also a string. And that's an array, right? So now we can pass this one as a type here, word entry. And yeah, now we get type safety here, no errors, and we push it in. Looking sharp, looking sharp. I think that's it actually. Now we have the examples and we all have the remaining stuff from last time. So let's see if we get that. So I'm going to create a new data JSON file here. And this time I'm going to call it data with examples. Okay. And since this is going to take a while because we do a fetch request for each word, I'm gonna fast forward from here and I'll show you the final result. But let's first call it. Alright, so after running this for quite a while, we do get a payload here where we have the examples in, and that's pretty awesome. So now we can move on with the actual app implementation.